Imagine a world teetering on the edge of chaos, a world where two of history's most enigmatic prophets, Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, have foretold monumental events set to unfold in a year not too far away, 2025. What if everything you've ever known is about to change? This video dives into the eerie predictions that have left even the most skeptical of us questioning reality. Who are these mystics? Why do their prophecies still send shivers down our spines? And what exactly are they predicting for the near future? We're about to uncover the mysteries surrounding two iconic figures whose predictions have shocked the world time and again. Baba Vanga, the blind seer from Bulgaria, and Nostradamus, the master of cryptic quatrains, live centuries apart, but share an uncanny ability to predict events far beyond their time. As we delve into their visions for 2025, we'll piece together their mysterious warnings and explore what these could mean for our future. Before we jump into the heart of their predictions, take a moment to reflect. Can two people from different parts of the world, separated by centuries, really foresee the future? If you're someone who loves diving into the unknown, who relishes uncovering secrets hidden in plain sight, then you're in the right place. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more explorations into prophecies, mysteries, and the unseen forces shaping our world. Let's take this journey into the unknown together. Baba Vanga was a mystic unlike any other. Born in a small village in Bulgaria in 1911, her early life was marked by an unusual event that would set her apart from everyone else. As a young girl, she was caught in a powerful storm that reportedly lifted her off the ground and threw her into the air. When she was found, her eyes were filled with sand and debris, leaving her blind. But it was this traumatic event that many believe gave her the ability to see beyond the physical world. Baba Vanga's life was one of simplicity, but her visions were anything but ordinary. Over the decades, she became known as the Nostradamus of the Balkans, with people traveling from all corners of the globe to seek her guidance. Her predictions were uncannily accurate, often describing events with a level of detail that seemed impossible. She foresaw the Chernobyl disaster, predicted the rise of ISIS, and even spoke of a black American president long before Barack Obama's election. Skeptics have tried to debunk her, suggesting that her predictions were simply vague statements open to interpretation. Yet, the sheer volume of accurate foresight she displayed has left many wondering if she truly had a gift that defied explanation. On the other side of Europe, living 4 centuries before Baba Vanga, was another prophet whose name still resonates today, Nostradamus. Born Michel de Nostradam in 1503 in France, he was a man of many talents. Initially trained as a physician, he gained fame for treating victims of the plague. However, it was his work as an astrologer and seer that cemented his legacy. Nostradamus is best known for his collection of quatrains, cryptic poems that seem to predict future events with astonishing accuracy. He wrote in a style filled with metaphor, symbolism, and an almost poetic ambiguity, making his predictions both mysterious and open to endless interpretation. Throughout history, scholars and enthusiasts alike have pored over Nostradamus's verses, linking them to pivotal moments in history. He seemingly predicted the Great Fire of London in 1666, the rise of Adolf Hitler, and even the assassination of John F. Kennedy. While many of his predictions are open to debate, it's hard to deny the chilling accuracy of some of his more specific prophecies. Skeptics argue that his quatrains are so vague that they could be applied to any number of historical events, but his devoted followers believe that his writings hold a hidden truth that we are only beginning to uncover. What's truly fascinating is when we compare the predictions of Baba Vanga and Nostradamus. Although they lived in vastly different times and places, many of their forecasts align in eerie ways. This raises a compelling question. Could two people, separated by centuries and without any direct connection, both tap into a higher realm of knowledge about the future? Or is it merely a coincidence that their predictions overlap so closely? Both prophets have made startling forecasts for the year 2025, and their shared visions are enough to make anyone pause. They each forewarn of a major conflict erupting in Europe, one that could have far-reaching consequences for the entire world. This isn't the first time either of them has predicted war, but the details they provide for 2025 are more vivid and troubling. The idea of a large-scale European conflict is especially alarming in today's context, where political tensions are already at a breaking point. Are we on the brink of a devastating war that could reshape the global power structure as we know it? But it doesn't stop there. Both Baba Vanga and Nostradamus spoke of contact with extraterrestrial beings around this time. Baba Vanga reportedly described strange visitors coming to Earth, bringing with them knowledge that could either save us or lead to our destruction. Nostradamus's cryptic lines mention a celestial visitor, a being from the stars that will be seen by all. Could these be references to a groundbreaking discovery, or even first contact with alien life? With recent developments in the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, these predictions seem less far-fetched than ever. Then there are the natural disasters. Baba Vanga had a vision of volcanic eruptions, tsunamis, and unprecedented environmental changes wreaking havoc across the globe. Nostradamus's verses speak of fire and floods, land sinking beneath the ocean, and a climate that turns against humanity. In 2025, both seers predict a year of catastrophic natural events that could change life as we know it. As climate change accelerates and extreme weather events become more frequent, these warnings feel increasingly ominous. While their shared predictions paint a picture of global turmoil, each prophet also had unique visions specific to 2025. Baba Vanga foresaw a devastating war that would leave much of the population decimated, leading to a drastic decline in human numbers. She spoke of famine, disease, and widespread suffering, a period she described as a dark age for humanity. Despite this, she also saw a glimmer of hope in the distant future, predicting that by 2028, we would harness the energy of Venus, ushering in a new era of technological advancement. Nostradamus, on the other hand, focused heavily on political upheaval. He foresaw dramatic shifts in power in the United Kingdom, with a possible crisis involving King Charles. This prediction comes at a time when the monarchy is already facing unprecedented scrutiny and challenges. Nostradamus also hinted at the exhaustion of warring nations, possibly referencing the ongoing conflict between Russia and Ukraine. His verses speak of nations weary from battle, suggesting that a resolution may come not through victory, but through sheer fatigue. Environmental disasters also play a prominent role in Nostradamus's visions for 2025. He writes of great floods, lands that will sink into the sea, and volcanic eruptions that will blot out the sun. One particular quatrain describes Brazil's green heart set aflame, which many interpret as a warning about severe fires and floods in the Amazon rainforest, an area already vulnerable due to deforestation and climate change. Together, these predictions form a chilling tapestry of what might await us in 2025. Whether you believe in the supernatural abilities of these prophets or see them as masterful storytellers whose words have been manipulated to fit historical events, there's no denying the compelling nature of their forecasts. As we piece together their visions, one question lingers. Are we living on the brink of a new era foretold by these mystics, or are we simply projecting our fears onto their cryptic words? As we dive deeper into the prophecies for 2025, it's time to step back and try to make sense of the eerie parallels between these visions and some of the oldest recorded predictions in human history. The words of Baba Vanga and Nostradamus have often been likened to biblical prophecies, drawing intriguing connections to ancient texts that have warned of the end times for millennia. In this chapter, we'll analyze the shared themes, explore the potential meanings hidden in their words, and address the criticisms that often accompany discussions of these prophets. Let's begin with the alignment of their predictions with ancient biblical prophecies. The Bible, particularly in the book of Revelation, speaks of great famine, war, and natural disasters that signal the approach of the apocalypse. Nostradamus's quatrains have been said to mirror these themes almost directly. He wrote of a great hunger that will grip the world, a time of scarce bread, and a great pestilence that will sweep across the lands. These descriptions echo the biblical four horsemen of the apocalypse: conquest, war, famine, and death. When comparing these texts, it's almost as if Nostradamus was drawing inspiration from the Bible itself, or tapping into a shared collective vision of the future. Baba Vanga, though less overtly connected to biblical sources, also speaks of a period of great suffering, marked by famine and disease. She envisioned widespread hunger, particularly affecting Europe, and described scenes of mass migration as people fled from areas struck by drought and environmental collapse. Her visions often included apocalyptic imagery, rivers drying up, scorching heat waves, and an earth ravaged by human negligence. These scenes are startlingly similar to what is described in the Bible's end times, where waters turn bitter and the earth experiences unprecedented turmoil. Could it be that Baba Vanga's prophecies are a modern echo of ancient religious warnings, or is it simply a reflection of the anxieties of our time? The idea of societal collapse also features heavily in the predictions of both prophets. Nostradamus wrote of cities empty and deserted, suggesting a mass exodus or an event so devastating that it leaves urban centers abandoned. He alludes to a great flight as people leave their homes in search of safety or sustenance. Baba Vanga's visions align closely as she described cities falling silent, empty of people after a series of catastrophic events. The notion of an urban exodus due to war, climate change, or a global pandemic is a terrifying but plausible scenario in today's world. As climate change accelerates and geopolitical tensions rise, the idea of entire regions becoming uninhabitable doesn't seem as far-fetched as it once did. However, it's important to address the criticisms that surround these prophecies. Skeptics often argue that Nostradamus's quatrains are intentionally vague and filled with metaphorical language that can be molded to fit any historical event. The poetic style he employed, filled with obscure references and archaic language, makes his writings a canvas for interpretation. His prophecies have been linked to countless events across centuries, from the French Revolution to the rise of Napoleon, often with the benefit of hindsight rather than clear foresight. Critics suggest that his writing style was deliberately cryptic, allowing future generations to read into his words whatever they wished to see. For instance, Nostradamus wrote of a Hiester rising to power in Central Europe. While many have pointed to this as a clear reference to Adolf Hitler, others argue that Hiester was simply an old name for the Danube River region. This ambiguity opens up his predictions to endless reinterpretation. It's possible that Nostradamus was less of a prophet and more of a poet-philosopher, reflecting the anxieties of his time rather than truly seeing the future. But then, how do we explain the uncanny accuracy of some of his predictions? Is it just luck, or did he truly possess a deeper insight? Baba Vanga's prophecies, on the other hand, are often criticized for being too straightforward, lacking the poetic mystique that characterizes Nostradamus's writings. Her predictions were typically relayed verbally to those who sought her counsel, which means they were documented and interpreted by others after the fact. This leads to questions about the accuracy of the recorded prophecies and whether they were influenced by the expectations or biases of the people who heard them. Many of her predictions that seem to have come true, such as the 9/11 attacks or the rise of ISIS, were only documented after these events had already occurred. This has led some to believe that her prophecies were retroactively constructed to fit historical outcomes. Yet despite these criticisms, both prophets have a remarkable track record that is difficult to ignore. Even if some of their predictions have been misinterpreted or exaggerated, the sheer number of accurate foresights they've made is enough to make anyone pause. There's also the undeniable intrigue in how closely their visions align with each other, even though they lived centuries apart and had no way of influencing one another. This brings us to a fascinating possibility. What if they were both tapping into a collective subconscious or a universal source of knowledge? Could their predictions be glimpses into a future that is already set in motion, or are they simply reflections of human fears and hopes? The alignment between their predictions and other ancient prophecies suggests a deeper, perhaps even archetypal pattern that recurs throughout human history. It's as if there's a shared script that mystics, prophets, and seers throughout the ages have tapped into, a script that warns of impending disaster, but also hints at renewal and rebirth after the storm. Both Baba Vanga and Nostradamus spoke of cycles of destruction, followed by periods of growth. Nostradamus wrote about a golden age that would come after great suffering, while Baba Vanga envisioned humanity making a significant technological leap, such as the harnessing of Venus's energy, that would mark a new era of peace and prosperity. Of course, the skepticism surrounding these predictions is not without merit. The vague and symbolic nature of Nostradamus's quatrains allows them to be adapted to fit almost any scenario. Similarly, Baba Vanga's prophecies have often been reinterpreted after the fact, casting doubt on their authenticity. Yet, the fact remains that many of their predictions align with real historical events and ongoing global trends. Perhaps it's not a matter of whether their prophecies are true or false, but rather how we choose to interpret them in the context of our own time. The analysis of these prophecies offers us a mirror, reflecting our deepest fears and greatest hopes for the future. Are we seeing a vision of what is destined to come, or are we projecting our anxieties onto the cryptic words of two long-deceased mystics? The answer might lie somewhere in between, a blend of ancient wisdom, human intuition, and the timeless concerns that have haunted us for centuries. War, famine, disaster, and the search for a brighter tomorrow. As we move forward, it's worth keeping in mind the patterns and cycles that these prophets have pointed to. Whether or not you believe in their supernatural abilities, their words remind us of the fragility of our world and the importance of preparing for the unexpected. In a sense, their prophecies are not just predictions, but also warnings, a call for humanity to change its course before it's too late. As we stand at the crossroads of interpretation and speculation, it's impossible not to wonder how the predictions of Baba Vanga and Nostradamus might play out in our modern world. With their unsettling prophecies for 2025 fresh in our minds, the question arises, how relevant are these ancient visions in today's context, and could their forecasts hint at specific events yet to unfold? In this chapter, we dive into what these predictions might mean for the near future, exploring scenarios that range from the plausible to the downright fantastical. This is where history, mysticism, and present-day realities converge, leaving us with more questions than answers. Let's start by examining how these predictions intersect with today's global landscape. Many of the prophecies we've discussed involve wars, political upheaval, and environmental catastrophes. While these themes have existed throughout human history, they are particularly resonant in the context of the 21st century. In recent years, we've witnessed escalating geopolitical tensions, unprecedented climate disasters, and social unrest on a scale unseen in decades. Could this be the beginning of the period of turmoil that Nostradamus and Baba Vanga foresaw? Or are we simply interpreting their words through the lens of our current anxieties? One area of modern relevance that has sparked considerable debate is the possibility of contact with extraterrestrial beings. Both prophets hinted at strange encounters from beyond Earth in their visions for 2025. Baba Vanga reportedly spoke of visitors from another world who would arrive on Earth and alter the course of human history. Nostradamus's quatrains are more cryptic, but mention celestial visitors and a being not from this realm. While these predictions may have sounded outlandish in centuries past, today, the idea of alien contact is taken more seriously than ever. The recent surge in government disclosures about unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs, coupled with increased funding for SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, suggests that we may be closer than ever to confirming life beyond our planet. If such an event were to happen in 2025, it would be one of the most profound moments in human history, forever altering our understanding of the universe. Then there's the issue of climate change, a theme that features prominently in both Baba Vanga's and Nostradamus's predictions. Environmental disasters are no longer just speculative fears. They are a daily reality for millions of people around the world. From unprecedented wildfires in North America and Australia to catastrophic floods in Asia and Europe, the evidence of a changing climate is undeniable. Baba Vanga foresaw a year of devastating natural events in 2025, including severe droughts, volcanic eruptions, and floods that would sweep away entire cities. Nostradamus's writings echo these sentiments, warning of great waters rising and land sinking beneath the ocean. The alignment of their predictions with our current trajectory raises an uncomfortable possibility. Are we already witnessing the beginning of the environmental collapse they predicted? But not all of their prophecies are focused on doom and destruction. Interestingly, Baba Vanga made several predictions about advancements in technology and human achievement, painting a more hopeful vision for the future. One of her most unexpected forecasts involves the world of sports, a seemingly trivial detail compared to her more apocalyptic visions, but one that has caught the attention of many. Baba Vanga predicted that Lewis Hamilton, the legendary Formula One driver, would win his 8th World Championship in 2025. While this might seem like an odd inclusion, it demonstrates how her predictions often touched on contemporary culture and individual fates, not just large-scale global events. Speculation about this prophecy has run rampant among Formula One fans, especially since Hamilton came close to achieving this historic milestone, but was narrowly defeated in recent years. If he were to win again in 2025, it would be a remarkable comeback story, one that would cement his legacy as the greatest driver in the history of the sport. Whether or not you believe in Baba Vanga's prophetic abilities, the fact that she made such a specific prediction adds an intriguing layer of suspense to the upcoming racing seasons. Nostradamus, though typically focused on grand historical events, has also been linked to modern sports predictions through some of his quatrains, albeit in a far more ambiguous manner. One particular verse mentions the eagle and the palace, which some interpret as a reference to the English Premier League and a specific football club, Crystal Palace. According to this interpretation, the club might face significant financial troubles or upheaval in the coming years, a prediction that has gained traction, given the financial instability in modern football. Whether this is a stretch of the imagination or a genuine prophecy is up for debate, but it certainly adds an element of intrigue for sports enthusiasts. Beyond sports, the broader theme of societal transformation looms large in both sets of predictions. Baba Vanga envisioned significant technological breakthroughs in the mid-2020s, including the harnessing of alternative energy sources that could revolutionize the way we live. She spoke of a time when humanity would begin to tap into the power of Venus, suggesting that we might discover new energy technologies that could alleviate our dependence on fossil fuels. While this may sound far-fetched, consider the rapid advancements we're making in renewable energy, space exploration, and fusion technology. Projects like the Artemis program, which aims to establish a sustainable human presence on the Moon, and the growing interest in Mars colonization hint that our reach into space is expanding faster than ever before. Could we be on the brink of an era of unprecedented innovation, as Baba Vanga predicted? Nostradamus's visions for societal transformation are less technological and more focused on political upheaval. He predicted that 2025 would be marked by revolutions and shifts in power, particularly in Europe. He wrote of a new order rising from the chaos, suggesting a complete restructuring of political systems. His quatrains mention the downfall of a great leader and the rise of a new power that would bring about dramatic changes. In today's context, with rising populism, political polarization, and widespread dissatisfaction with traditional governance structures, it's not hard to imagine a scenario where such changes could occur. The United Kingdom, for example, has been in a state of political flux since Brexit, and King Charles's reign has already faced numerous challenges. Could these events be the beginning of the political shifts Nostradamus foresaw? Speculating about the future based on centuries-old prophecies is, of course, fraught with uncertainty. Many of these predictions are open to interpretation, and it's easy to find connections where none may exist. However, the sheer number of accurate predictions attributed to both Baba Vanga and Nostradamus cannot be dismissed outright. Whether they were tapping into some hidden source of knowledge, or simply reflecting the fears and hopes of their time, their visions continue to captivate us. As we look to 2025, we find ourselves standing on the precipice of change, facing unprecedented challenges and opportunities. Will it be a year of conflict, as they both predicted, or a year of breakthrough and transformation? The uncertainty of what lies ahead only adds to the allure of their prophecies. Perhaps we are living through the very moments they warned us about, or maybe we're projecting our anxieties onto their ancient words. One thing is certain. The intrigue surrounding their predictions has not waned, and as we approach this fateful year, the world will be watching closely. Could we witness the fulfillment of these prophecies, or will they remain shrouded in mystery, forever debated by scholars and enthusiasts alike? Only time will tell, but until then the speculation continues, fueling our collective curiosity and our fascination with the unknown.